Relationships can be really hard work. Whether we're talking about family, friends, romantic partners, or even your work colleagues, it's the people you're closest to or spend the most time with who probably have the biggest impact on your life every day. But what happens when those relationships are messy, or even worse, toxic? Today I'm going to show you the single most effective technique for improving your relationships and finding a greater sense of peace of mind. So let's talk about better relationships. Hi, I'm Jeremy Godwin and I teach you how to improve your mental health with weekly videos and my podcast, Let's Talk About Mental Health. So our relationships play a huge role in our lives. Whether it's at home or at work, how well you get along with others will have a huge influence on your happiness and well-being. But the quality of our relationships often comes down to one critical factor: boundaries. I'll come back to that in a moment, but first let's talk about what makes a healthy relationship. In a nutshell, they're connections that are based on respect, trust, good communication, and equality. In contrast, unhealthy relationships often involve manipulation, poor communication, a lack of respect, and they can leave us feeling drained or insecure. So, what are boundaries? Boundaries are like invisible lines that we draw around ourselves to protect our well-being. They define what's okay and what's not okay for us. It's a clear statement to yourself and to others about what you will and will not accept in terms of how others treat you. When we have clear and healthy boundaries in place, it can help prevent misunderstanding, resentment, and conflict. And that leads to healthier relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. So how can you set boundaries? Let me give you some quick tips for setting boundaries in the most common types of relationships in your life, and then I'll tell you where to find even more tips. Tip 1. Communicate clearly. And that means letting people know what you need or want in a calm, non-judgmental, and non-apologetic way. Be kind, but also be honest and assertive. After all, it's your life, and you're in control of the choices you make. Tip 2. Balance needs. Healthy relationships involve a degree of give and take. You might need to compromise at times, but it's essential that your needs and the other person's needs are both being met. So aim to take a balanced approach to boundaries in any relationship and make sure that things are fair for everyone involved. If you feel your boundaries are consistently being pushed or ignored, address the issue quickly. If your concerns are dismissed or not taken seriously, it may be a sign that the balance in your relationship needs to be reassessed. Tip 3. Be consistent. Once you've communicated your boundaries, it's crucial to consistently uphold them. After all, a boundary that isn't enforced is just an imaginary line. Consistency not only helps reinforce your boundaries, but it also prevents misunderstandings. It's natural for people to test boundaries from time to time. However, if you occasionally let them slide, then it might send a message that it's okay to overstep them. Set your boundaries, communicate them, and then stick to them. Remember that you teach people how to treat you by way of what you accept. Tip 4. Do regular check-ins. The fact is that you're not the same person you were a year ago, let alone 5 years ago. People change, and so do their boundaries and their needs. Don't just assume that what was okay in the past will always be that way. Ask. Regularly check in with each other about your boundaries, as it can be a good way to maintain open communication and ensure that both of you are still comfortable with things. Establishing boundaries is about taking care of your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. It's not about keeping someone at a distance or being demanding. If you approach the conversation with kindness and a willingness to communicate, then you'll find that boundaries help create a healthy relationship, one where mutual respect and personal well-being are prioritized, as they should be. Just remember this: if you don't set boundaries for yourself, someone will set them for you, and you're probably not going to find that to be a positive. Now it's over to you. Let me know in the comments which tips you're going to apply and find out more about your relationships and your mental health in the latest episode of the Let's Talk About Mental Health podcast. It's linked in the episode description. Thanks so much for joining me today. Take care and talk to you next time. For ad-free content and early episode access, become a paid supporter on Patreon. It's linked in the episode description. And in this video, I talk about how to deal with bullying, so watch that next and subscribe to my channel for new videos every Sunday.